That's next month, but tonight we come to you from Miami, Florida, where this afternoon it was temperature in the 80s, partly sunny. Very pleasant day. Showtime's Night of Boxing continues. It is 1 down, 1 to go as we continue along with our boxing twin bill from the Miami Alai Fronton. Just ahead, a world championship on the line. Coming up next, our main event, the battle for the WBO Junior Welterweight Championship. Carlos Gonzalez takes on unbeaten but unproven Floridian Randall Bailey here in Miami. Two big bangers. Well, it's unlikely that we'll see the first double knockout in Showtime Championship boxing history, but tonight may be about as close as we'll ever come to that rarest of sports occurrences. Carlos Gonzalez and Randall Bailey both epitomize the term knockout specialist. Punching power, unquestionably, their stock in trade.
I feel that I fight a very aggressive fight. It's strong. I go all out.
My best punch, a lot of people may think it's the right hand, but I think it's the jab. Because I done hit a lot of guys with my jab, and I seen in their eyes how they blinked after the jab, and then that's when I just, bam, hit them with the right hand and finish them.
I feel my best punch is my upper right hand. You know, it's like a lot of blocking. But you see his face, you know you have him, and the only thing you feel is a lot of energy just to finish him off.
When I know I got him hurt, I can see it. I just see it in his eyes. If you look your man in the eyes, everything, you can see mostly everything. You can see if he's ready to quit. You can see if he's strong, whatever. All in the eyes.
I like to go up there, have a good exchange, to try to finish the fight fast.
Yeah, when you hit somebody, you feel it. You feel it, yeah, you do feel it. You feel it all up in here. You know when you done hit the home run, you just know it. You just know, you just be like, oh, he gone. He gone.
Yes, two fighters who have one thing in mind when they step in the ring, and that is knockout. We suggest, unlike in the last fight, that you don't pay a visit to the fridge during Gonzalez versus Bailey, our main event. Let me bring on my ringside partner once again, Bobby Ches. You know, how many times have we seen champions waltz in, particularly in this arena, like a couple of months ago with Tim Austin and Jorge Julio? Thought they were going to have easy fights. Turned out to be very difficult situations. Do you think Gonzalez may be taking Bailey for granted?
Well, both of them were lucky to get out of here with their titles still intact. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Gonzalez will make that mistake. It would be a terrible mistake. Now, granted, Bailey's resume of who he's beaten is not that great, but his skills are that good. He's got great skills. I think underestimating him would just be foolish.
Yeah, this might come down to who's got the better chin. Let's get your keys to victory for both fighters.
Well, for the champion Gonzalez, he has got to come forward. He has got to be the aggressor. He's got to also work hard on the inside and close the gap. He's got to shut down that distance no matter what happens. And when he gets in there, he's got to work. Here's the gap. He can't win the fight out there. He's got to shorten that distance considerably. Here he's going to throw an overhand right and a left hook on his way in. Big looping shots from the outside, but he's constantly moving forward. They're not real effective, but now the distance is closed, Steve. That distance is real tight. Now he's on top of his man and can land more of his power shots. Big overhand right, and that's it for Cirillo. He's all but out. The flip side to the coin on this is Bailey's got to use his speed. He's got good hand and foot speed, a sharp jab, sometimes as a rangefinder, and also it sets up that big right hand. Here we're going to see him use a double jab, and both of these are range-finding jabs, and he finds the range with the big right hand. Now he's landed the big right hand. Flores is rocked back on his heels. You can see he's off balance. He's hurt. He's a little wobbly. He gets another jab in there to find the range for the coup de grace, and it's over for Flores.
And the challenger, Randall Bailey, from right here in Miami, Liberty City Projects, 18-0, 18 knockouts. Trainer Al Bonatti, who's got 5 fighters to world titles, calls Bailey the best prospect he's had in 25 years. That is high praise. There's Al nodding his head. However, the combined record of Bailey's opponents is 75 wins, 228 losses, 6 draws. Only 3 had winning records. As he makes his way to the ring, despite that, he's rated number 2 by the IBF, number 8 by the WBO. He is a knockout artist with a lethal right hand. But Ferdy, tonight by far his biggest test, major step up in competition. You think he's ready for the acid test?
I really don't. 18 fights of that caliber, you just don't know what's ahead of you when you come in with a guy who's really an experienced fighter. And of course, the Mexican is a superb fighter. He's experienced. He's had 11 years in the ring and 40-some-odd knockouts. I mean, that's a lot of experience to look at. When you're looking at a guy who's not scared of it, who doesn't care about your punch and Byron's coming in to punch, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, he's going to have to really pull an upset if he does. Not that I would be so surprised, because we're talking about 2 dynamite punches.
All right, let's take a look at the champion. Nice close-up of Carlos Gonzalez, now in his second reign as WBO junior welterweight title holder. First won the belt back in '92 at age 20 with a second-round TKO over Jimmy Paul. After 3 title defenses, lost the belt to Zach Padilla by decision. That was one of the best fights of 1993. It was a war. He found himself resurrecting his career at 22. He recaptured the belt. His last fight, a rematch with Giovanni Parisi almost exactly a year ago. A 9th-round TKO in Italy. Overall, a very successful career. His first loss didn't come for nearly 5 years after turning pro in '88, won his first 36-33 by knockout. All right, Bobby, he hasn't fought since May 29th of '98 due to an injured right hand. Could inactivity impact on his performance?
You know, 1 year out of action could affect almost anyone's game, Steve. Certainly a lot of the timing and conditioning, and even getting acclimated to being punched again can be worked out in the gym, but there's nothing like the emotion, the adrenaline, and the rush of fight night. Consistently fighting, keeping yourself busy, your body and your mind in boxing rhythm is important. Not all fighters can do the Sugar Ray thing and go off for as long a time as he wants to come back perfect. We're going to see in a few minutes.
Well, perhaps his experience over Bailey's will balance things out. Just 2 years older, but 34 more fights. Let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. As mentioned, Gonzalez 2 years older than Bailey, 1-inch height advantage for Bailey, both at or near the weight limit, and the reach is nearly even, so all around pretty close with the numbers. And the key unified rules for this world championship bout: there is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th round, the fight is declared a technical draw. If it happens after the end of round 4, they go to the scorecard. So here at the Miami Alai Fronton, we're ready for the main event, the WBO Junior Welterweight Championship. Carlos Gonzalez and Randall Bailey. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Miami Alai for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and the undefeated, undisputed king of beers, Budweiser. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor Gene Glenn, along with the Florida State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Dr. Jack Gugino, commissioners Terry James, Eric Riley, Alita Waldman, and Manny Garcia. The executive director is Chris Meffert. Our physicians at ringside, we have Dr. Alan Fields, Dr. Stanley Simpson, and Dr. Ramon Garcia Septien. Timekeeper at the bell is Phyllis Gary. Keeping count of the knockdowns, Brian Gary. And now our judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Tallahassee, Florida, Jay Cassis. From Paris, France, Daniel Talon. And from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Nelson Vasquez. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Miami, it's showtime. And our referee in charge of this world title main event, Telis Asimenios. Introducing to you first on my left, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing teal trunks with white trim, fighting out of and representing his home of Miami, Florida. He weighed in at the junior welterweight limit of 140 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a perfect record of 18 wins, no losses. All 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the WBO number 8 ranked contender, number 2 in the world by the IBF, introducing the hard-hitting challenger, Randall Bailey. Introducing his opponent, the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks with white and green trim, hailing from Xochimilco, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at a ready 139 3/4 pounds. His outstanding record stands at 48 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 42 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the defending WBO Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, introducing Carlos Bolillo Gonzalez. Once again, a referee in charge, Telis Osimenos, now to give instructions.
His trunks are high, right?
Gentlemen, you have received instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Your trunks, anything below here is a low blow. Right here, this is a legal punch for both of you. Watch your heads. Do not hold and punch. You have any questions? Any questions? Wish you good luck. May God bless you. May the best man win. Shake hands.
Gonzalez, historically a fast starter, but he used to tire in the later rounds, so lately he has tried to pace himself more, although he told us he plans to go right at Bailey from the opening bell. 20 first-round knockouts to his credit. Bailey has a cool confidence about him, almost like he knows something, even though he has never been here. Bailey also a fast starter, 12 of his 18 knockouts in round 1. Feels very much at home in this ring. Had his first pro fight here. He's had several fights here. Grew up in the shadows of the Alai Fronton here in Miami.
Speed and that defense, I think they're going to be key, and I give the big edge there to Bailey.
28 of Gonzalez, 42 knockouts in 3 rounds or less. And hook, and down goes the champion, Gonzalez.
Gonzalez reportedly with a good chin speed. That speed.
He's gone.
Fight's over.
It's over. 28 seconds in. Randall Bailey from right here in Miami is the new WBO Junior Welterweight Champion.
He is going crazy. I think he's going to hurt himself.
He looks like Ali after Ali beat Liston.
Well, you call it, Bobby.
I thought so. I thought he had no shot.
You call it.
I told you guys when we were during the conversations and interviews, I said, I don't think Gonzalez has a shot at lasting the fight. I don't think he's going to get past the mid-20 to fight.
He couldn't even last the first 30 seconds.
Well, that I was a little shocked at, but I told Verdi and I told you, I said, I don't think he gets past the first 4 or 5 rounds.
41 seconds for a Liberty City Flash to cool out Mexico's best. That's really something.
Now,
that is an upset. That's an upset.
They attend to Carlos Gonzalez lying on his back. The hugs all around for Randall Bailey. His trainer, Al Bonani, embraces him. And
I don't mean this in the wrong way, but Bailey's still never been tested.
the fastest KO in this weight division's title fights. Unbelievable. We had this kind of a feeling about Bailey, but I'm not sure we thought it would happen this easy and this fast. Dr. Stanley Simpson is administering to Carlos Gonzalez, and let's hope he's okay. Here's the family of Randall Bailey celebrating. Oh, man.
Speed times mass equals power, Steve, and even though they're both only 140, 139 and change, Bailey throws with all his weight, and he throws so quickly. If you don't see it coming, Steve, it catches you, your body short circuits itself.
A crisp left hook, and down went Gonzalez. And you talk about sharp, dramatic contrast in fights.
We're going to give you a few different looks at that knockdown. It's very quick, and it is very sudden. Bailey's working his way in with a nice right hand, and he comes up from a crouch. You'll see he pulls out, and wham. He steps right, and you see, you watch this. If we get this later on the telestrator, I'll draw it up. He steps in with the hook. You can see him. He steps in with the right hand. He means to do damage with it. Here he's crouching, bending his knees. He's on the inside, and he steps forward. Watch his body come in with that left hook. His body stepped in. He stepped into the punch, as we would say in the gym.
So a star is born as we take another look.
The right hand was a little long, and he reached with it, but he committed himself. But watch the left hook. Plants his feet, steps in with that left hook. That's what they say when they say he committed to the punch. He committed to that left hook. He stepped into it. and that is when you let all your body behind it. Plus, he's very quick. Speed times mass equals power. Powerful puncher. And also a quick punch, which makes him doubly dangerous.
In his dreams, he couldn't have thought of a better ending to this fight. Relatively unknown Randall Bailey dethrones two-time world champion Carlos Gonzalez in a matter of seconds here in the first round. Bailey lifting the hometown crowd. In his first world title fight, he becomes the third Miamian to win a world title, following former cruiserweight champions Robert Daniels and James Waring. Only 18 fights coming in versus the experienced Gonzalez.
I remember Daniels because I took his title.
Very good. Bailey improves to 19-0 with 19 knockouts. We're set for the official word from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fireworks end at 41 seconds of round number 1. He's the winner by way of knockout. He is still undefeated, and the new WBO Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Randall Bailey.
Randall Bailey from the Liberty City Projects. His mom used to take him across the street to the PAL gym when he was 14 to learn to fight so he could defend himself in street fights. That's how he learned to fight. And now he is elevated at the age of, what, 24? He's a world champion. A short-lived second term as champion for Carlos Gonzalez. Unsuccessful in the first defense of his second reign. Let's go to the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco in the ring. Ferdy.
Let's get over it. All right, Al. You called it. Bobby Ches called it. I didn't. Boy, you did something tonight.
Yeah, first I want to thank Don King and everybody in Don King Production. Debbie King, Carl King. I want to thank my manager, my trainers, Jerry Attardi, my manager.
All right, let's hear what you hit him with. I mean, what do you think you hit him with? Because that was a beautiful shot.
But the left hook did it. The left hook. I just put my knees down and came up with the left hook, and it was over. I knew if I catch him, he'd go.
Ferdy, he said in the paper, the champion, that it's he who takes the better punches. He was the one that was going to take the better punches. Our job was to stay away from the punches.
Well, you did that. It was too soon to even know whether he can take a punch because he didn't get hit. So from here, obviously you're another champion in your bag. Where do you go from here?
Well, I'm going to talk to his manager, Jerry Attardi, and his other manager, Keith Boggs from Indianapolis. They're going to meet with Don King. We want to knock out the rest of the champions. We want the other Gonzalez. Give us the other Mexican after he beats Costazoo. He's a great fighter. We want him. All right. We want the IBF champion.
All right, in other words, you want the world. Okay, I think they're celebrating in Liberty City tonight. And so for a moment, we'll go back to Mr. Albert at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Ferdy. The fastest knockout for a title fight at this weight, 140. We saw it here tonight, 41 seconds in. The old record was 1:32. Hironaka over Rosario back in 1992. As Randall Bailey does it in impressive fashion and improves his first round stoppage ratio to a whopping 80%. Let's check the online results from our main event. What do you think about that?
Gee, there's a great guess.
Oh, man.
Actually, that shouldn't be correct. That should be a fraction of a
That's
round.
right. Should be, yeah. It didn't even go. It went 41 seconds. Well, anyway, if you took part, we thank you for your participation. So, boy, you talk about a sharp contrast in fights. We had to sleep through the Henry Akinwani fight, and this one you couldn't blink.
There was something very interesting that Gonzalez had said during the interviews to me. He said whether the fight I knock him out or he knocks me out, it's going to be a great fight, whether it goes short or long. Now, on paper, and after watching these fighters, I talked about it, we talked about it, it's going to be a barn burner. And I never expected it to go that quickly, but I told everybody I didn't think that Gonzalez had a chance of winning this fight. I didn't even think he had a chance of finishing first 5 or 6 rounds, and I'm happy that I was right.
Well, you get a parting gift.
There you go.
What about guys like Shambe Mitchell, Teron Millette? Is Randall Bailey ready for that category?
Well, I don't know that he's ready for that type of boxing, that experienced a boxing puncher like Shambe Mitchell. Shambe Mitchell's got a lot of style, he's a southpaw. He can punch and he can box. He has a ton of experience, and he's been to the till many times. This is the first time this young man's been to the till, and he really wasn't tested. They've all been tested, and they're tested tough.
Okay, let's test the fight doctor once again. We send it back into the ring where Ferdy is standing by with Don King. Ferdy?
All right, Don, you've been through a lot of controversy. It's been a winter of discontent. Now it looks like you got a summer cruising. So where are we going with boxing this summer?
We're going to the top. Showtime is undeniably we want be #1 because we're going to be bringing the best for the viewing public in the boxing of what we're going to present. This was a terrific show here tonight. I've never seen such fury in a punch that this young man threw today. I think it's something to be memorable because the guy failed 3 times, you know, trying to get himself together. It was really exciting.
Well, do you see a future for, I mean, this guy is such a puncher. That's 19 straight knockouts. Can he maintain that in championship competition? You think, man, that is some kind of punch.
We got a bright future for him. I think he's going to really be proved to be something, to be a force to be reckoned with, and we're certainly going to keep him working and keep him busy, and he's going to become a Showtime champion like never before.
All right, now, on the other side of that coin, because we always have the bad with the good, well, that Kawandi stunk out the joint. What are you going to do with that guy? I mean, how can he stand and demand a title fight when he fights that bad?
Well, he wasn't fighting that bad, Freddie. On the contrary, he had an opponent that was just determined not to go out because he hit him with a beautiful right uppercut, you know, and the guy went down. But this guy was a very awkward fighter, and he just was determined to go down, but he was trying to throw punches, and he was a southpaw. So we got to get, you know, and don't forget, Akawandi ain't fought in a long time, too. Well, so you got to give him a little credit, you know what I mean?
He just doesn't have the fire, John. He doesn't have the fire of a heavyweight. With that size and that ability, that guy with a little bit of fire that the Kronk should put into him should be great, but he's not. I mean,
we got to work on that. We got to work on that and bring the fire in the furnace and bring the blazing hot because the guy's got a lot of time before he's fight. He's very disappointed because he's not being able to fight for the championship. So we got to keep working on it.
All right. So, Don, it's been a sensational finish to a boring night, and we go back to Steve Albert at ringside.
All right, thanks very much.